Good evening and welcome to another episode of Court Recap, the show where we break down important court cases that you want to know about. I'm Ben Jammin McBlamin, and tonight we're looking at Doe v. Cahill. Let's get started. The internet has become a commonly used tool, allowing people to post content anonymously without any consequences. This becomes an issue when we're dealing with comments made about politicians on state blogs. Now let's send it over to Hingle McCringleberry.
Thanks, Blamin. Hingle here. An anonymous user posted a few statements about Patrick Cahill, a councilman for an online public blog hosted by the Delaware State News, that caused the councilman to be concerned about his reputation. According to Doe v. Cahill, Delaware Supreme Court decision, the user used the alias Proud Citizen to post comments about Councilman Cahill, a segment of which read, "Anyone who has spent any amount of time with Cahill would be keenly aware of such character flaws, not to mention an obvious mental deterioration." The councilman wanted to learn the identity of the anonymous user, and after determining the internet provider of said user, he wished to learn the identity of Proud Citizen from the provider. Why does each side think they're right? The blogger was under the assumption he would have his identity protected and was firmly within his rights of free speech. Cahill, remaining worried about his reputation, was suing for what he assumed was obvious: defamation and an invasion of privacy. Impact? Well, Ben, this case represented a huge victory for the protection of free and anonymous internet speech. This case would later be applied and served as a standard for a case in 2007 and cases involving online political criticisms of a public figure. Now sending it over to Skeeter.
Thanks, Dingle. The trial court, ruling under a good faith standard, determined that Cahill's request to Comcast should be approved. Before this could happen, however, Doe appeals the decision directly to the Delaware Supreme Court. Unsatisfied with the trial court's ruling, the Supreme Court developed a new standard by which to judge anonymous internet cases. In order for an identity to be revealed, the plaintiff must provide sufficient evidence of a relevant legal issue at hand. The Supreme Court stated the new standard appropriately balances one person's right to speak anonymously against another person's right to protect his reputation. A landmark case in anonymous internet speech, the standards set forth in this case still apply today. Now we'll head over to Leo's Maxwell Gilliams, who's got some questions for you.
Thanks, Skeeter, for bringing it on over. I'm Leon Maxwell Gilliams, and I've got some questions for you. Why is this case important to other internet cases like this in the future? Do you believe it was right for the court to release the user's identity? Why is it important that we are dealing with an anonymous internet user? What do you think should have happened? From all of us here at Court Recap, Ben Jammin McBlamin, Hingle McCringleberry, and Skeeter, I'm Leon Maxwell Gilliams. Good night.